Hello and thank you for watching. Today we're going to be working on the rear right gear reduction hub. As you can see right down there, I have an oil leak. Now if you've been subscribed to my channel, you'll know that I've replaced both these half shafts, so I know it's not wear on the half shaft, which leaves the seal going into the gear reduction hub right there. Now what I did is I replaced the half shafts and I filled it full of oil. Filling the gear reduction hub to its proper level caused this leak to be blatantly obvious. And as you can see, what ends up happening is as it leaks down there, drips all over the place, gets on the inside of your tire, and then flings around the inside of your tire as you drive down the road. So today we're going to be taking that apart and replacing that seal. Now the first thing you want to do here is pull the cap nut off and remove the bolt that holds the half shaft in. What we'll be doing is taking the whole geared reduction hub off the vehicle and replacing this on the bench. There's a good picture of where that goes, so pop that cap nut off and there's a bolt in there you need to take out. Second, you'll want to drain your hub. I've already done this, or I'm doing this right now. Once your hub is drained, remove your vent line. Make sure you plug the hole so you don't get dirt in it. And then you'll want to take your tie rod end loose and start working on the ends on the top and bottom of the geared reduction hub. Now there's 4 bolts on top, 4 bolts on the bottom, and then there's a nut holding your tie rod in. Now if you want to save some time here, I ended up beating on this tie rod in for a good 15 or 20 minutes until I hooked up an air hammer and turned this into a 15-second job. So if you have an air hammer and the ability to hook it up to your tie rod remover tool, I definitely recommend that. Once you have the tie rod loose, you can easily get to the bottom 4 bolts that hold the gear reduction hub onto the suspension. Be very careful. The training manuals state that you want to make sure you have support before you remove this geared hub because of the weight. I thought I'd just be professional, but it really is a pretty heavy geared reduction hub, so be careful when you remove it. Now here I'm taking the 4 bolts loose to pop the piece off that holds the seal. I soon discovered that there's a gasket underneath this piece and I didn't have a replacement gasket. So what I end up doing is putting the bolts back in and removing the seal itself. Now of course before you replace the seal, make sure the seal you have on hand is the right size and measure it accordingly. You'll want to make sure you keep things nice and clean. Now, if you've never done this before, you may make the same mistake I did. You can actually pound the seal too far in there. Now, very carefully with a seal remover tool, I was able to remove it and then seat it properly flush with the hub. But be careful, there's no stop and it will go further in than it should. Keeping things clean is important, and it's a bit difficult lining it up, though you can do it by yourself, getting the half shaft back into the geared hub. Once you have the half shaft back in there, you can start putting your ends together and then finagling it around. I had to put the jack back underneath it to push the suspension together far enough to put the top portion back on. Once you have the top and bottom portions on, you can tighten the bottom portion, tighten the top portion, and then put your tie rod in back together. Now you'll want to make sure that you don't forget to grease your tie rod ends and kingpins, as they're traditionally called. Don't forget to bolt the half shaft back into the geared hub before you fill her full of oil. Here what I've decided to do is just run some 90 weight through it and flush it out just to make sure I don't have any dirt or debris inside the geared hub before I fill it up and seal it. Down in the description, I've provided links for the most affordable and highest quality tools and parts that I've used in these videos, so feel free to check those out. If you have any comments, feel free to post them in the comments section. I'll try and answer them as soon as possible. Like this video if you like it, and if you haven't yet, subscribe and get future updates whenever I post a new video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.